Loosh,
Ibby.
and you, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's the Cool Cousins podcast, and we're back, episode 3. I don't mind that.
Not at all.
We had a great launch and loving the support and everybody. We got a great relationship question today.
Yeah.
What do? I am talking to an Arab man, and I don't know what the hell he's saying. No. I can't understand him.
The accent's way too thick for me.
He's really hot, but I don't know a damn word he's saying.
Oh, man.
It sounds really, really sensual.
I love these questions, though.
The
They
questions
keep coming in. I like them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, so we had a lot of YouTube episodes where we talk about the culture, being Lebanese Canadian, being a part of the Arab diaspora, the global sort of population, and trying to break down those barriers and stereotypes and misconceptions. We like to get some questions, so please holler at your cousins, man.
Yeah, man.
Don't be shy around the cousins. Let us know what's up. You don't have to censor. You don't have to hide. No secrets. We're going to actually block out a little bit of information in this story to make sure privacy is protected.
Of course. Yeah.
That's our number one priority. But we love the fact that she reached out. We've had many others reach out to us in the past, whether it's a guy or a girl, dating, relationships, mother-in-law problems, father-in-law, anything and everything. So you ready?
Let's go.
So this girl is from England, right?
Was that supposed to be British accent?
It is a British accent.
That is not a British accent,
actually.
bro. That's like mixed with something European other than
we all
whatever.
from Europe, Ibrahim.
Yeah, somewhere else in Europe, though.
European, right? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Hey.
What?
If you walk into the washroom Lebanese and you walk out Lebanese, what are you when you're in the washroom? European. That was a knee slapper right there. Goddamn.
All right, then moving on. Moving on quite swiftly, actually. European. All right, now I'm in the mood. This is a statement actually, but it's a funny one. Two peanuts walking down the street. One was assaulted. That is my classic go-to. It's the best.
Oh, man.
All right.
Let's go back.
Back to business. Just a bit of background. My stepmother is Iraqi, a practicing Muslim. So I have some awareness of differences within culture. But obviously, no two people are the same. And Iraq and where this gentleman is from that I'm speaking to are two different countries. But I do have some exposure. This desire to learn more is how I found your channel, and it is so informative. So thank you. You're welcome, baby girl. You're welcome, Amira.
Walau, as we would say.
So the chap I'm talking to, we met on a popular dating app, which is designed for serious relationships. I just kind of the accent just kind of went away there.
Yep.
As opposed to hookup culture. That's a good term, hookup culture. I think we're both thinking of the same app.
Yeah.
So
So
actual relationship, which
which is rare to see happen
these days.
People meet on an app and actually get into a relationship.
Yeah. Here's the kicker. I'm 23 and he's 31. He is from an Arab country in the Middle East. But he studied in the States at 21. So he has some North American experience. Okay. And then he moved straight to London as he's been raised in London ever since. Okay. He also clarified to me that he sees himself staying in London. All right. So we started messaging on the app and we were talking about books for about a week. And then he asked if we can move outside of the app. So let's take it, from the hotel lobby, Ooh. If you don't mind stepping into the elevator. And then we can do a little something.
In the elevator,
a little escalation.
I see what you did there. I like it.
And then quite swiftly, they jumped on video call. I don't mind that. I like the video call. It just kind of solidifies everything. You get to see them in their real element, if you will.
To see if you're getting catfished or not.
Preach. So basically just making sure that, they're not crazy or not
a robot.
And the pictures, let's be honest, the pictures you put up on a dating profile, they're pretty much as filtered and model
100%,
quality as they can get. And I believe it was the first video call when he was offering to come see me or for me to come see him, so we could meet. So he stated that he liked me and and that we shouldn't waste time. Now, I think some guys may think that's a good thing. If they hear that, it could be a flag, a little bit of a rush. We got to think of the age, 23 and 31. He's not in the mood to waste time. But let's continue. So he was currently out in his home country visiting family, and we were going to meet up when he came back, which was about a week away when we started video calling. But due to the pandemic, his flight got delayed, and her commitments, things got really, really hectic, but they kept messaging every day, texts and voice notes, and he would still video call me every other day in the evening after he had finished work or got back from seeing his friends in his home country.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, for you to finish your day and then video call kind of gives me like afterthought vibes a little bit, like whether he's kind of pushing her off until the end of the day or when he's alone or.
Well, I mean, I kind of see it the other way though. Like, is he really though? Because like she doesn't know what his days are like. You know what I mean? What his schedule is like throughout the day.
Oh yeah,
what
she's
he has
completely
to
at
do.
his mercy. Like when he's willing to communicate with her.
Yeah. So like at least he is giving her time of the day to.
Oh yeah,
call her,
anytime.
talk to her, whatnot. So that's good enough, I guess.
For sure. I know that just in some cases we've had people write to us and be like, he'll only communicate with me at this time, or this hour, which is incredibly suspect, and it's frustrating because sometimes I want to talk to him at different hours. Like if we're gonna have a real relationship, like I should be available to you at any time of the day.
Of course.
But anyways, I don't want to. They're not. He was traveling, and it's not like it's like a constant thing. And I don't even think that's her issue. So let's not open up that can of worms on her behalf. So he sent me photos of his friends and family eating knafa. Ooh, shout out to knafa. In Lebanese dialect, we say knefe, which is that cheese.
That fire cheese, bro.
That cheese, you could say it's like a dessert breakfast. I would say it's like the Arab equivalent to like pancakes with syrup and like custard.
Oh, that sugar syrup. Oh
and
my
that
God.
Honey and so basically it's like a piece of cheese baked with like breadcrumbs, I think, over top.
Yes, sir.
And they put it in like a sesame seed bun with honey or sugar syrup.
Get me hungry.
It's game over. And so, so they're sharing a lot of information and he's showing her a lot of what he's up to. So here's her reservation. My reservation is a couple of times he tried to make things more intimate. I should clarify, nothing too salacious. I have very little experience with relationships and stressed this to him, also citing that I found it bizarre to have any sort of intimacy through a screen before we had even met in person. Good for you for communicating that with him.
100%.
Right away, right off the bat, and to not really giving into the pressure.
Yeah.
Of the moment.
He has to understand you 100%.
Yeah.
What you want.
It's a big ask.
And he has to understand that you're not that experienced in relationships.
Right.
And what you want out of the relationship.
He stressed that I could embrace or be more sensual with him and be more traditional in public.
Okay.
So offering her that, that double-edged sword, if you will. In a bizarre way, I'm considered traditionally British, and therefore public displays, anything more intimate, is between two private people who are clearly in an established relationship. I really love that about the British culture.
So same as his culture, basically.
Well, our culture, yeah.
Our culture, yeah.
The Arab, actually, that's something we have in common with the Arab and British culture is, the public display of affection.
So obviously, yeah, we like to keep it private too. So my thing is now that what is he asking for when he wants a more sensual relationship with her?
So she chose not to describe that, but I think we can go as far as, we want.
Okay.
In terms of you're really into somebody, you're communicating with them a lot, and you can only imagine, just how emotional two people that are into each other could be over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just go in that direction.
So my other question is, she also resides in London as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So they're both in London.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I think at different times though, because
Okay.
he travels and stuff. He didn't push anything, but it just sent a small red flag. I don't know culturally whether him being in the West, and he said he views the West as his permanent home now. If it means some of his cultural expectations have shifted. I guess my concern is I don't want to think I'm heading for a serious relationship and him thinking the complete opposite. Any cultural, personal opinion would be appreciated. I'm just slightly uncertain, but I really enjoy talking to him, but don't want to get invested and seem foolish.
Wow.
Okay.
Love that question.
Epic question. Thank you so much for that. And big shout out to her. And if you guys want to send us anything too, holler at us on Instagram or in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. But Ibi, what do you think about this in general?
Well, you know what? At least she knows what direction she wants to go, right? Like she knows what she wants. She just wants to know how to get there.
Yeah.
In a way that'll benefit her, which is good.
It is good. But at the end of the day, she's talking to a 31-year-old Arab man.
Yes.
Who is, educated, and he travels and he has plans. And it's no secret. We're not going to beat around the bush. At 31 years old, you're an Arab man. You need to get your shit together.
Of course.
You have to.
Of
it's
course.
It's not an option.
And you got to ask yourself, are you all right with age barrier there? Age difference of her being 23 and him being 31.
I think he's okay with it.
Of course.
I think most men would prefer a younger woman, and even culturally speaking, like we marry, a few years younger, I think on average. And even still, they say a woman can psychologically meet a man mentally like 5-year difference.
Yeah.
So I think that 4 or 5 year gap is actually an advantage. But in his case, my only reservation is that he has established so many things in his life. He seems educated, family man, because he goes back to his home country. He travels, but it seems like the wifey chapter of his life hasn't been sorted yet. And he was willing to jump online and sort that through a dating app. And not only that, when he finally meets somebody he likes, he wants to leave the app immediately, which, by the way, a lot of apps tell you not to do. And that would be my question to you, is not to say that he has bad intentions, but I think it's also to protect the credibility of the relationship or the intentions of the man. Removing you from the app, you can now not really control the interactions in that context. And then him asking to jump on video so soon, and as she said in her letter, he liked me and we shouldn't waste time, as if him liking her is the only variable to not wasting time.
Like that should be enough for her to be in a relationship with him. The fact that he likes her.
Exactly. Which is a huge flag for me.
It is. It really is. But as long as so with the whole app situation, as long as she got to see him on video and she knows what he looks like, that he's actually there.
Right.
I think that's enough. As far as his whole traveling thing, she has to also ask, how often does he travel? Does she have to go with him? Will she see him enough to establish a proper relationship with him if he keeps traveling?
Because all of that leads back to what her main issue is. Him wanting to be more sensual and more sexual and more intimate with her on video. There's a few angles here. His travel, as you mentioned, his lifestyle. Is this going to be like a way of life for him? Are you going to be expected? Because I don't think you can travel with him. Many Arab men, they travel for business, bro.
They do. And the thing is...
And the wives don't go with them.
Of course.
The wives, they hold down the fort.
Yep.
They build the castle.
And even if he tells you to go with him, would you be able to let go of whatever you have going on?
Well, at 21.
And
23.
Leave?
At 23, what are you doing?
You're still in university.
Yeah, and unless it's a lavish lifestyle and he has private jets and he's one of those Arabs.
Comes and goes as he pleases.
Unless he's one of those Arabs, which, again, I think that there's some huge vulnerabilities there, but I don't think she described that.
And not only that, though, like there are a couple things that he did that shows that he actually cares and listens to what she has to say. Mm-hmm. like she mentioned she likes a couple of things, and he said he got her a gift, and she thinks it's those things that they were like talking about, which actually gives her, I'm pretty sure that gives her a good sign, I guess, right? This is somebody that actually cares about what you have to say and what you like, and will give it to you.
But then the question remains: is that enough for you to jump on cam and be and be sexual with him? And listen, I get it. I'm not even knocking him for even trying. All right, I get that. But then the question is: are you trying to just do your thing, homeboy, or
you want to go downtown,
or are you trying to like make it seem like you're trying for something else, bro?
Yeah, but like,
that's my thing. And by the way, that's the huge hypocrisy that I have a problem with our culture, with a lot of guys that want a freak in the sheets, as they say, and a lady in the streets, and that whole little saying. But it's like, bro, you literally, met a 23-year-old. Cute little girl, I'm sure, like cute little thing. She's got her pictures. I'm sure her Instagram is popping and whatever. And he's attracted to her, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking that at all. But you're going to ask her to start doing things that like you wouldn't be okay with wifey material doing with you.
Of course. But the thing is, I'm getting mixed signals from this guy, because he would ask a question such as getting more sensual, and then do things that a man that actually cares about you would do. So
he says, he stressed that I could embrace and be more sensual with him and be very traditional in public. Which is, by the way, and again, I think my issue with this is that they're not even that far into the relationship, and he's asking that of her.
It's kind of moving kind of quick.
Being sensual with your partner in private is exactly what we do in Arab culture.
Yeah.
And I guess in her case, British culture as well. And then in public, it's a completely different story.
100%. What happens at home stays at home.
Exactly. Like your wife can be like the biggest freak and no one will ever know.
That's nobody's business. That is literally nobody's business.
And that's the exclusivity. And so I guess he's asking of you the exclusivity so soon. And in a way that is incredibly vulnerable, which it's a different vibe when you're camming. It's a different energy when you're on a phone, you know? And I get it with the pandemic and when people are separated, they can't see each other. I get that. If you guys are in an established relationship or you guys are comfortable doing that, have at it.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
But
I think it's very healthy.
Of course, but like once again, I'm still getting like the reason why I'm getting mixed signals from this guy is because he's kind of hitting all the right marks, like him wanting to take her around the cities of the UK or back home, and
if he already did all that
stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Had he already done all that stuff, then okay.
Okay, yeah, I understand what 100%. I agree with you, but like there's still like it's a bit of a mix, right? Like, what's his end game here? What does he want?
And that's what a girl always wants to know. A girl always wants to know what your intentions are.
100%. And I don't blame her for thinking like that either.
No, I mean, good for you. I mean, at 23, I don't know how many 23-year-old girls are in that frame of mind, in that zone. But again, she described herself as being more of a traditional type girl.
And I could already tell how mature she is.
Based on her
words. By how she says things and the amount of words and the size of that paragraph she decided to send us.
Yeah.
Like, this is somebody that actually cares about what happens in her relationship, if there is a relationship to go on with, right? She says, I have very little experience with relationships, and she stressed this to him. The fact that she used the word stressed, that is actually key as well. Because she also says, so she stresses to him, and I'm also citing that I found it bizarre to have any sort of intimacy through a screen before we had even met in person. He has to understand that to the T. Like, she literally like has to make sure it goes through into his skull. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but then his answer to that was, okay, baby girl, but like, just you can be like that just with me, and then in public you don't have to. That was his answer.
That's a stupid answer.
Okay,
that is a dumb answer because people behind the screen are way different than they are in person. Right?
Yeah,
behind the screen, and you could say whatever you want, however you want it. Use emojis. You could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But in person, how are you going to do that? You can't. You have to be you 100%.
Yeah, and I think you hit on a really good point. Like, camming and being sensual with somebody that you have already physically met and absorbed, if you will, just their energy, their vibe, their aura. You need to get a feel for the person. You need to know, like, if the energy is just off, because it's very easy to paint a very attractive, sensual picture on screen using emojis. Now, emojis have freaking evolved. Like, I can send you a whole cartoon now, a whole animation.
I could literally send you an entire message explaining how I feel, what I want, and everything, like anything through emojis.
And then I can send you pictures that are filtered and just completely controlled. And so that's the point, is that he's asking you to do something that is very important to you, but you haven't been in a controlled environment with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem, is that he's in control of the situation when everything's happening over the phone and you haven't met. That's my point. And then again, I go even further. When I was single and I approached girls, or I was talking to, or I was even thinking about females in general, having 4 sisters, it's like, how would you got to hold other women to the same standard that you would hold the women in your own life.
Of course.
And so for me, asking a girl to cam with me or to be more sensual with me before she's even had the chance to see me live, to know more about me, asking her to be so vulnerable before
you put a ring on it,
not even, yeah, or even before I can prove to her that my intentions are good, is unfair.
Yeah. And also the thing is, like, I also don't know.
Oh, and by the way, sorry, real quick, I guarantee you, this dude, 31 years old, I'm sure he's a great guy, don't get me wrong, but if he found out that she accepted sensual camming and online shenanigans with another man, he would be nowhere near her.
Oh, 100%.
It's game over at
Guaranteed.
that point.
I'm going to be under the assumption that it's only been a few weeks, 3 weeks maybe, since they've started talking.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to ask for her to be more sensual over camera or whatever, in my opinion, that's a little too fast. 3 weeks, bro. Like, what are you asking for?
Yeah.
She absolutely has to let him know how she feels and what she wants over and over again until he understands it. She has no choice. If she wants this to work, if she wants something serious with him, that's what she has to do. Mm-hmm. And she has to make sure that she doesn't get hurt in the process as well, right? If she actually cares about this guy or not.
Well, I mean, listen, if she wants to be wifey material, she needs to act like it, and not and for me, somebody who's wifey material wouldn't give it up so easily. At the end of the day,
and she's concerned too. Like, if she's saying, like, literally, I guess my concern is I don't want to think that it's heading for a serious relationship, and him thinking the complete opposite. Like, you got to protect yourself first.
Absolutely. He's 31. They talk about books for 1 week. They left the app, and then he's like, I like you and we shouldn't waste time. He's bringing her in to the Arab culture pace. And that's already fast. And then you want to add on top of that, him being 31 and already at that prime time age to get married. You're in the thick of it. You are in deep water and you're being circled by a shark.
Not one shark. I think it's multiple at that point, bro. I mean, like it's a very dangerous territory.
Yeah, but she's and so he is being aggressive, and maybe that's a testament as to how into you he is. But we don't know. You just don't know. There's too many unknowns. Yeah, you don't know. Is he talking to anybody else? Is there what his intentions are at the end of the day? Because we do have in our culture, I'm gonna say it in Arabic, we do have something called when you aish shababak. Okay? When you live your youth. All right? A man, an Arab man, culturally, we say live your youth. Aish shababak. Do what you got to do, get things out of your system. It's kind of like the Arabic version of frat parties and like the college life.
Okay.
Get it all out of your system, bro.
But you got to understand one thing. Everything has its time. Everything has its time.
Yeah, okay, fine. But my point is that she may be in his time. She may be in that time of him.
When I say everything has its time, I mean live your age. Right? Don't be,
so you mean 31 is late?
Don't be 23 and live the life of a 31-year-old.
Okay.
Be you. Don't be 31 and live the life of a freaking high school student.
Yeah, and we
with your parties and your whatever you want to, like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like everything.
But he
has
may
its
be
time.
in that zone. She's got to figure out: are you in that zone? Are you in that zone? I don't think he is. If she want, like, if he says I like you and we shouldn't waste time, it's like, bro, waste time for what? What do you mean shouldn't waste time?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to get to know me at that level, but it's just different. It's different.
It's a process, man.
Yeah,
it needs time.
Culturally speaking, you know, and I don't know if he's religious. I'm not sure. But men are willing to wait until after marriage to even touch their wives or see them in any type of way. So him asking that of you is not really a part of the culture.
Yeah.
To be honest, or religion. But I'm going to stick with the culture because I'm not sure what religion he is.
Bro, in conclusion, when it comes to this kind of stuff, there is no such thing as wasting time unless you're playing around. Okay? Everything takes time.
Facts.
And nothing of what happens, if it's leading to something good, is a waste of time either. Because that is a lesson to be learned. And it's up to you to decide, do you want to go through that again? Yes or no? Or do you want to be a part of that? Yes or no?
Yep. I would ask him, just to try to avoid any double standards. If he had a daughter and she was being pursued in the same way, how would he feel about it?
I guarantee you would not be even discussing this.
It's funny how people change as soon as you flip it.
Of course.
You flip it on them and you make them act according to the same standards they would want for their own, right?
Shocking. Not
it's
really.
Something I like to do. It's just the way I think. It's just the way I think. It's where my mind goes.
And that's not a wrong way to think either.
No, it's empathy.
Of course.
You're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes
100%.
and you're acting according to how you would want to be treated in that very same situation. You know? So I ran a poll on Instagram asking people, you know, what they thought and whether or not they would engage in some screen time loving, if you will.
Okay.
The results were actually a little bit surprising for me.
Really?
Yeah. 64%. So my question was, if you had a crush or you were talking to somebody, would you perform screen time loving and show that intimacy through the screen? And 64% said yes, they would. And 36% said no, they wouldn't. So activate that FaceTime. Get your phone charged up. You put the music and candles, ladies and gentlemen. 64% of the people are ready to go.
People have spoken.
Get that FaceTime.
Smack that hammer.
Smack that hammer. Oh, okay. You mean that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I thought you meant start smacking that hammer. Get that toolbox. All right. But then I had some people message me and actually elaborate, saying that, hey, I'm voting yes to this, but I'm actually in a long distance relationship and we couldn't physically be together because of the pandemic. And so they were either dating or they were engaged or married, mostly engaged, and they couldn't be with their significant other. So a little bit of context there for the 64%. I mean, you know, it's not something that I enjoy personally, even though I'm married. Like, it's never been something that I felt was a real display of affection.
It wasn't a necessity for you at that time, I guess.
No, and I can't correlate digital love with real physical love.
It's different.
It is, and maybe that's just me being old school, but I don't know. Like, is the younger generation able to make those emotional connections over the phone?
You would be shocked, bro.
Well, more and more things are happening over the phone.
Everything's through the phone now.
That's what I'm saying.
Everything's through the stupid screen, man.
Which could be a good thing. Which, you know, we've seen like some really cool innovations happening on what we can do over the phone. A lot of you guys are listening to this podcast or watching it on your phone, which is fantastic. But as far as that human touch, that emotion, you know, Like, she needs to feel him putting his hand on her shoulder. If she has a strand of hair in the wind or in her eyelash, and he moves it from her forehead and kind of gets it out of her face. Those are the little moments. Those are the things that you can't quantify when actually getting to know somebody for real. And that's the problem, is that we digitize relationships, and that is binary. It's zeros and it's ones. This is binary. It's not dynamic. It's static. It's zero and it's ones. And so we look at people as such. Are you with it? Am I swiping left or am I swiping right? Are you a 0 or are you a 1? And that's the problem. He sees her on the phone. I like you. We shouldn't waste time. She's like, bro. And the funny part is that she's actually younger. That's the irony. She's 8 years younger than him.
8 years.
You would think she's way more of a digital native.
Man, something's always like I'm still shocked about certain things in life, bro, such as a 31-year-old, the way he thinks compared to a 23-year-old and how she thinks.
Yeah. And it's for me, it's not to say that he's a bad guy.
Of course.
But
not at all.
I mean, bro, if you had a sister, what's up?
What it do, what it don't.
I might, like, if I hollered, you know what I mean? In my single days, like, what's up, though? Let me hold you to the same standard, bro.
100%, of course.
That is how you get around the cultural aspects of Arab men, is that you need to hold them to the same standard as they hold their mothers and their sisters. Because I see a lot of double lives being led.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? They're priests and they're sheikhs in public, right? But then they go on their phones, or they create different accounts, or they want to gossip, they want to backbite, they want to talk about people, and they want to go and do things with girls that they know aren't going to say anything. That's a problem.
I still see it.
And that is the way. And I guess those are the emotions that come out as I'm reading her story.
Yeah.
Those are that I'm feeling that type of way. With no offense to him, because I only know him through her question. But still, she needs to hold him to a higher standard.
Of course. And above all else, make sure she protects herself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about you. It's all about you for now, and you're the priority. Don't worry about him. But anyway, 64 said yes, 36 said no, percentage-wise on Instagram. Don't be shy to follow us, Cool Cousins Podcast on Instagram. I really enjoy talking to him, but I don't want to get invested and seem foolish. That's it right there. I feel like she answered her own question with the very last line of what she sent me.
I think she just wanted closure.
I think she just needed to hear it from the gang.
Oh, that's it, man.
From the cousins.
You know what it is.
Why are the cousins so cool?
Because you could talk to us more than you could talk to your parents. Spill the beans. Talk some shit.